Hi, Assalamualaikum. Good day everyone. So today we are going to continue the subtopic 10.7 about the human lymphatic system. Diagram shows the structure of the artery, blood capillary and also the vein. The blood that reaches at the arterial end of the blood capillary has a high pressure due to a small diameter of the capillaries and the pumping force of the heart. The pressure will allow the blood plasma to diffuse continuously from the blood capillaries to the intercellular spaces. Here is the intercellular spaces. Next, what happens? The blood plasma that occupies the intercellular space and constantly buffers cells is called the tissue fluid. Right now, it is called as a tissue fluid. The tissue fluid does not contain erythrocyte, platelet, and plasma. This is because erythrocyte, platelet, and plasma protein are too large to diffuse out of the blood capillaries. Later, the tissue fluid allows the exchange of material in the blood and cells to occur. Nutrients and oxygen diffuse from tissue fluid to the body cell. Simultaneously, the waste product and the carbon dioxide will diffuse from the body cell to the blood capillaries through the tissue fluid. This is the lymph formation and the components of the lymphatic system. Okay, now we discuss about the lymph formation and the components of the lymphatic system at the venule. This is the venule. So the blood plasma inside here is hypersonic compared to the tissue fluid that's surrounding it. So then the blood pressure inside here also low. Hence, as a result, the water will reabsorb back into the end of the venule capillary. Not only the water, it also will reabsorb back the mineral salt and waste. However, only 85% will return back to the blood capillaries. Only 85% will diffuse into the venule and it is about 4 liters of fluid that is lost from the capillary each day. So the 15% lost fluid is collected and then returned to the blood through the lymphatic capillary, which is the smallest vessel in the lymphatic system. So the fluid inside here is known as lymph. It is a pale yellow in color. Here are the comparison between lymph and tissue fluid. The similarities, both contain plasma without the plasma protein, erythrocyte, and platelet. Meanwhile, the differences, the lymph, higher contents of fat and fat-soluble substance. But the tissue fluid, low content of fat and fat-soluble substances. The lymph have high contents of lymphocytes, but the tissue fluid contain low contents of lymphocytes. This is the comparison between the lymph and the blood. This is the comparison between the lymph and the blood. Both contain all of contents of plasma such as nutrients, hormones, enzymes, cellular waste, respiratory gases, and leukocytes. Meanwhile, the differences between lymph and blood is the lymph does not contain plasma protein, erythrocyte, and platelet. Meanwhile, blood contains plasma protein, erythrocyte, and platelet. The lymphatic capillary wall consists of one layer cell. The lymphatic capillaries found in the intracellular spaces merge to form a large lymphatic vessel. Here you can see it will merge and form a large lymphatic vessel. The lymphatic capillaries differ from the blood capillary because one of its ends is blocked. So you can see it is a block or closed while the other end is connected with the lymphatic vessel. Along the lymphatic vessels are lymph nodes at certain distance. The lymphatic system consists of organs such as lymph nodes, spleen, thymus gland, bone marrow, tonsil, and appendix. The lymphatic system does not have its own pump to circulate the lymph along the lymphatic vessel. so that it is aided by the heartbeat pulse, contractions of skeletal muscle, peristalsis in digestive tract, and also the changes in pressure during inhalation and exhalation of breathing. In the lymphatic vessel, one-way valve ensures the lymph flow continuously to the heart. This valve also prevents the lymph from flowing back. This is the structure of the lymphatic system. All lymphatic vessels will eventually join with the one of the two main lymphatic vessels, which are thoracic duct and right lymphatic duct. The right lymphatic duct will receive the lymph from the right hand, chest, and also the right side of the head and neck. Meanwhile, the thoracic duct will receive the lymph from the left side. The thoracic duct will receive the lymph duct from the left side of the head, neck, and chest, and all the body parts below the ribs. The thoracic duct will deliver its content into the left subclavian vein. You can see here that this is the left subclavian vein. The right lymphatic duct will transport lymph into the right subclavian vein. So the lymph collected from the whole body will flow back into the blood circulatory system. This is the necessity of the lymphatic system. The lymph nodes produce and store the lymphocytes that involved in the body defense and the production of antibodies. The lymphatic system will complement the blood circulatory system, where the lymphatic system will return the excess tissue fluid in the intercellular spaces into the blood flow. The composition, pressure, and volume of blood are maintained at the normal range. Last one is the transportation of fat-soluble substances. Fat and fat-soluble substances such as fatty acid and glycerol, and also vitamin A, D, E, and K will diffuse into the lacteal in the vilus of the small intestine. The lacteal are lymphatic capillaries. The lipid droplets are transported to the thoracic duct and the blood circulatory system through the left subclavian vein. 10.8. We are going to discuss about the health issue related to the human lymphatic system. What is edema? What would happen if the excess tissue fluid is not returned to the blood flow? So the tissue fluid that is not returned to the blood circulatory system will accumulate in the intercellular space. This will result in the swelling of the body tissues, and this condition is known as edema. This is the diagram of the edema. The causes of the edema: pregnancy, prolonged bedridden patient, deficiency in plasma protein, and also parasitic infection. During pregnancy, the body will produce more body fluid to fulfill the needs of the growing fetus. Meanwhile, for the bedridden patient, paralyzed or stroke patient with limited mobility can suffer from edema in the legs. The deficiency in plasma protein will cause the albumin in the blood become less. The parasite worm consists of the Brugia species, infect the lymphatic vessel and prevent the flow of the lymphatic fluid. The infected part, for the example, such as leg will swell. Last one is the lymphatic filariasis. This worm is transmitted through the mosquito bite.